Think everything should be good. All right, let's get started. So let's talk about this. So most people, they don't fail because they picked the wrong dream. They fail because they never picked the struggle that came with that dream, right? So everybody wants this dream body. They want this relationship, this dream, whatever this dream life may be. But very few people are willing to go through those, what we call these daily struggles, if you want to call it that, that's required to get it. Now, if you're new here, my name is Mitchell. I'm a relationship coach. And in today's live video, it's going to be a little bit different, but I'm going to be talking about it's easier to pick a dream than it is to pick a struggle. And so, slide number 1, okay, it's why it's so easy to pick a dream. And, we have to think about the psychology that comes with this, right? The psychology of picking a dream. Everybody loves the idea of the dream, because dreaming costs you nothing. It's literally just pure imagination. And so when someone imagines this perfect relationship or this perfect body or, financial freedom, becoming more respected, having some sort of status, the brain releases this dopamine that is the same reward chemical that is usually associated with like anticipation and motivation. And so the problem is that the brain doesn't really know how to distinguish between imagining success and actually moving towards it. And in some ideas, it feels like, dang, I already received this, so why do I need to physically work towards this? So someone could sit there and think like, look, I'm going to start a business. How many people thought of something but never actually did it? I know I've been one of those people that always thinks about things, but I'm still personally doing my best to move towards the things that, hey, if you say it, you're gonna do it. When you say it, you gotta do it. So starting a business, or like, oh, I need to be more confident, right? Or I'm going to fix my dating life, or something's not perfect with me, and this is something that I'm going to be working towards for myself, whether it's a physical body or whatever it may be, right? So now the brain already gives this, what we call this emotional reward, even though nothing has changed in reality. You haven't done anything. So dreaming feels like it's very productive, but it's actually more mental entertainment for yourself. And it just gives you this high without actually doing anything. And so I'd like to talk about what most people would do next, which is, well, if something's wrong with me, what I need to do. And so a lot of people kind of lean towards self-help. And, that's who I am. That's what I teach. But also, sometimes self-help could be a trap. And here's how, right? It comes inspiration without action. Hello. So inspiration without action. So this is where a lot of self-help can accidentally trap you. I'm not saying self-help is bad. It's just that people take this whole idea of self-help and, hear me out, okay? So a lot of people consume a lot of motivation like entertainment. That's what it is. It's just entertainment that feels more productive. It's like eating a salad with a bunch, and if you're trying to lose weight, you're eating a salad with like a bunch of like dressing, like Thousand Islands, and you're like, how come I'm not losing weight? So it's kind of like that. Well, so what they end up doing is they watch motivational videos, they read a lot of self-help book, which is good for you. I'm not saying it's bad. Listen to a lot of podcasts about relationships or whatever it may be, and watch YouTube content to feel more confident. And so for the next 20 or 30 minutes, they will feel very powerful. They'll feel very inspired. But the moment that video ends, what happens? Nothing really changes. And so instead of taking action, they go back to consuming more. And so it's this loop. First, you feel stuck. Then you watch motivational videos. Then you feel inspired. Then you do nothing. And then you feel stuck again. And so I call this the seminar high, where you listen. It could be like this too. When you listen to this, what ends up happening is like, yeah, you know what, Mitchell, you're right. I feel stuck. I'm gonna watch your videos or whoever's video. I'm gonna be inspired, but I'm not gonna do anything. And so it feels like you're doing something productive. It feels like you're moving towards something, but you're not doing much because you're not really putting much effort afterwards. Because who's gonna turn off the video and be like, come on, let's start doing this, especially if you watch the video yourself. So there's not a lot of people that's like, hey, at least let's try this, right? And so it becomes this more of this emotional comfort, if you will. It's not very transformational, it's just more emotional. It's comfort. It could be like a cope for you to feel like you're actually doing something, but you're not. And so it's not really improving your life at all. It's just self-soothing, right? It's like a cope for most people. And so they feel like they could say like, oh, I did it without actually doing anything. And so that's where a lot of people get stuck with this whole self-help. And so that's why people bash on self-help. And there's a lot of people that bash on even therapy. Let's just say you have a bad relationship with your significant other, and then they go to therapy and like, oh, therapy doesn't work. And it's like, well, there's a lot of there's a lot of variables that could happen while you're in a therapy session, right? Like maybe your therapist isn't the right match for you, or maybe they're not the right match, and their advice to you is not applicable because it doesn't align with what's really going on, with what's going on between you and your partner, whatever it may be. It's like you have to vet people too, right? Therapists are people, at least for now, until AI kicks in. But that's a different story on its own. Now, moving forward, why the struggle feels so much worse than the dream itself. So let's go back, right? It's easier to pick a dream than it is to pick a struggle, and why the struggle feels so much worse than a dream. And so dreaming, like I said, it feels amazing because like I said, there's no resistance. There's no reason. It costs nothing to think about, damn, I want $1 million. Who could think of that? Now working towards it is two different things, right? So the moment someone actually pursues the dream, they encounter this. They encounter rejection. They encounter a lot of failure, a lot of embarrassment. There's a lot of frustration that gets involved, right? And on top of all that, you have slow progress. So when you have rejection, failure, embarrassment, frustration, and then you have slow progress, it doesn't feel like you're making as much progress as you think you should be. Your brain starts to tell you that, hey, you know what? Maybe this isn't such a good idea. This might be a threat, because our brain is wired to survive. It's not wired to succeed. And so if you want to think about it in this way, where our brain is designed to survive, not to thrive. And biologically, it kind of sets us back, because this is still new to us, being financially free, being peaceful. It's like we don't really think about that. And so here's some examples, all right, of what could happen, why your mind is thinking about this. Because back then, social rejection could mean that you will be kicked out of a tribe, so you're no longer protected. So if something happens to you, you're by yourself, right? You're socially rejected. Like, that's a horrible feeling. I know how that feels like, because back in middle school and high school, like who likes to be rejected, especially when those times are so important. Next, failure, right? Failure during, say, hunting back then. It means that you would starve, or you won't eat for that next day. Like, it means survival, right? And also another thing is embarrassment, right? Embarrassment, being embarrassed, could signal loss of status, which reduces more of your survival chances. So anyways, psychologically, we're playing all these things in our head, and it's like saying, well, these are threats. And guess what happens too? Humans are wired with this idea of loss aversion, which is pain feels twice, if not more, but at least twice as strong as pleasure does. So that is why more people do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure, right? Like the pain of, damn, I need to study for this test, so that I could get a good grade on it. The pain of, damn, I gotta spend at least an hour or two of unbothered study session in hopes that I could get a good grade. It's like why? I just study for a little bit. If I just get a C, it's good enough, right? And so now, so the struggle feels very uncomfortable, and it for sure will feel very uncertain, and it's risky. Like, it's emotionally risky. It's like, well, why would I invest all that time if I could just have this instant gratification of just imagining a great relationship or imagining this great body, right? So this is why so many people, they kind of bounce back, or they retreat back to this dreaming instead of actually doing, because dreaming protects your ego. Okay, it protects your ego, but your struggles will expose it. Now, lastly, this is what I want to talk about is very, very, very few people actually do the work. Very few people actually do the work. So here's the reality where most people don't like to hear. You know, a lot of people talk about it like this. It's all talk, right? You can talk the talk, can't walk the walk. But a lot of people, they talk about what they want. Far fewer people commit to the struggle that is required to get it. I want a nice body. Well, are you going to the gym not every day, but consistently? Are you eating consistently well? Like, what are you doing? And now studies have shown over and over in behavior changes where it's most people never follow through with the goals anyways. I mean, you know, the most cliche example is New Year's resolution. By now it's March 7th. If you're watching this right now, it's March 7th. More 80 to 90% of the people has already failed by February, okay? And so less people are committed to taking care of themselves. I'm not saying that the gym is the only place that you could take care of. Most people don't even walk, okay? They're becoming more and more sedentary. They're more glued to the phone. Yeah, all that stuff. So anyways, only a small minority of people maintain this long-term behavioral change. And if you want to change your life, you have to develop this system that works for you, right? And if you want to know a little bit more, I'll highly suggest you guys read this book. Even if you do 1 page a day, James Clear, Atomic Habits. Okay, read 1 page a day. Read half a page. I don't care. At least get consistent on reading and develop a system with less resistance or friction that, you know, for me, here's an example. I want it to be less achy, okay? Something as simple as that. I go to the gym, but now as my body is lifting a little bit more, I'm more active now, my body aches a little bit. But I know I need a recovery if I want to have a better workout the next day. So for me, I like to foam roll, but I don't like to foam roll if the foam roller is not next to me or if the floor is uncomfortable. So I made a little place in my room where I do at least once every other day. I will foam roll before I go to bed, because I feel like whenever I do that, I have a better night's sleep. The next day I get to work out a little bit better, and it just pushes me more towards the next day on a positive note. And so for me, I continue to try to do that as much as I can. So having less friction, and then I have my gym clothes ready. When I wake up, right before I sleep, I set everything up so there's less resistance when I wake up. And so those are systems that I've built myself. I'm not sure if they're the best ones, they're the most optimal, but it works for me, right? I don't wake up and be like, you know what, this is too much work. I have to do all this. I have to take my laundry out. And then I have to, I don't need to do all that folding stuff, right? I reduce the friction. And so you have to set that up yourself if you want to be successful. Less friction. So, like I said, small minority of people actually make long-term changes. And so the difference between people who actually succeed and those who stay stuck is simple. Successful people, they don't chase motivation. Motivation is great. I don't think there's anything wrong with motivation. And there are days where I'm more motivated to work out. I'm more motivated to eat healthier. I'm more motivated to do whatever it may be. But I don't depend on that. And the reason why is because I learned that, thanks to Tony Robbins, is like this motivation is a push energy. It's a push. You need a more emotionally compelling reason to do the things that you want to do, not just relying on motivation. Because when you're motivated, it's great that you get that extra push. Doing things feels a lot easier. There's, even if there's more friction, you could bypass that, right? But what happens when you wake up and you're not feeling it? It's not that you can't go to the gym. It's not that you can't eat healthy. You just choose like, fuck it. Let's just, take the day off, whatever. But it's not like you can't. You're just not doing it because you're just like, I'm just lazy. If you have a strong enough emotionally compelling reason to be like, shit, I still need to do this, I need to take care of myself, you will get up and just show up. And showing up is 80% already. The other 20 is actually putting it in the effort. And so, as a trainer myself, sometimes it's not always about getting that person to lift the heaviest weight when they go into the gym. It's like, I don't care if you don't want to go to the gym and you're sore as shit. I get it. Then go there and at least show up, go past the door and do some recovery work. Show up anyways. Okay. Yes, I know that you could do it at home, but you haven't showed me enough consistency or a habit, if you want to call it that you show up anyways. So until you build that, keep showing up. And so getting them through the door is like one of my ways of getting them to be a little bit more consistent. And so that's something that I'll do for myself. If I'm like, damn, I don't want to, I'm just going to show up. And more often than not, once I show up, I'm like, all right, I'm already here. I might not be able to push the heaviest weight that I want to do or whatever. Or I might like be shy 2-3 more reps than I am usually. It is what it is. I'm here. At least let me do something. And I'm there. And then the next day, it's like the snowball effect. And so, like I said, successful people, they stop chasing this motivation and they're more disciplined. They're more disciplined. So they accept the struggle. So now having this mindset shift of, saying, oh, I can't afford this, or I could never get somebody like that, or I could never get a body like that, or I could never be financially available. It's like, oh, if I can't afford this, it's you change it to how can I? And it's not that I can never get someone like this, it's how can I? And so they expect, people that are successful, they already expect a lot of discomfort and they expect a lot of failure, and there's going to be a lot of awkward learning phases. So they know that they're not just choosing the dream, they choose the daily struggles that already come with it. And that's where respect is built, right? A lot of this is doing it quietly. You're not bragging about it. I go to the gym pretty consistently. I don't post about my gyms. I just do it because I know that if I don't do it, at this point, if I don't show up, it's going to be like, damn. Except today. Today's a little different. I chose to stay back. I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. That's because my back hurts. But anyways, that's besides the point, right? Being consistent. And so just remember, guys, if you're picking a dream, just know that there's going to be a lot more struggles that come with it, okay? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick. Just know that if you do it consistently, you do it long enough, it becomes this emotionally compelling reason for you to want to do it. And then not showing up feels more painful than showing up, that's when you know you're like, all right, I have enough discipline, and this dream is only a matter of time. Built that habit. Anyways, that's all for the show today. Thank you for watching this live. And if you're watching this on a rerun, thank you for watching. And so I'll catch you guys next week on a different live episode. I know today's a little bit different. Usually I'm talking about relationships and stuff, but this is just as important. If you can't maintain this, you can't maintain a relationship. If you can't change your life, something has to change, and that's why you're here. So I highly suggest just pick one thing and just work towards that. Okay, and then you can pick another thing and work towards that. Don't overstress yourself. You don't have to do 5 things at once. Just do one. All right, and I catch you guys in the next time and next live. All right, peace.